What is up, everybody? Let's get this right out of the way. What is going on, everybody? Wow, what are all these pop-up thingies going on here? I don't want any of you. Go away. What is up, Esteban? Pendergast, Teal Mike, Forgivens, Shaggy, and 3M, and the other like 4 people that are watching. What is going on, everybody? The hell? That was weird. Annie decided to take a dive. It's not good. How's everybody doing this fine evening? Man, my beard is just all kinds of just jacked up. I just need to just like just do one over here. Just do like one over here. And then just it is just like super crappy today. I gotta do something with it. It feels like it's asking, like there's this line right here, and it's like, shave me, do away with me, like get it down to like there or something. What's going on, Nightmare? Ow. How's it going? Yeah, I have no idea what to talk about today. Man, sometimes my brain is just like, we're gonna do what now? But yes. The Bandai Godzilla figures aren't bad just as long as you don't pay full price for them. I mean, even at like 20 whatever bucks, they're not terrible. I mean, I feel like, you know, they've got the little, like the vinyl Godzillas where maybe you're lucky if you get 4 or 5 points of articulation. And I know those are like 10 to 12 bucks a piece. You know, those are nice, basically like statues, essentially. But at least these, you know, they give you like the swappable lower jaw with the you know, beam or fire or breath effect or whatever. And you know, they've given us, I think, 4 or 5 of them now, which is a pretty decent. But again, you know, for being just a little 5-6 inch figure, it's not too bad. And yeah. Let's see here. And then through Teal Mike FF preview for next Thursday's stream. I don't know what you mean. I'm not entirely sure what you're getting at. Did you buy the Ultraman figure that is like the same, or did you buy the Figure Arts one? I don't know. I had one around here. Where'd he go? Or did I finally go put him out of my Godzilla shelf? I gotta clean. This is getting redonkulous. I got so much stuff just laying everywhere. It's getting crazy. Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's probably what that stream will be. Yeah. I thought you were talking about my stream. I'm like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about, buddy. I was very, very, very confused. Yeah, I have that the inexpensive Bandai one, but I also have the other one too. the figure arts one, which isn't terrible, but yeah. Let me see here. Everything jumped. The two Avengers movies got pushed back. Yeah, they did, but I mean, they could easily move it back to. I look at it and I go, you know what? If that means that we're gonna get a better movie, then I'm okay with waiting. Because I would rather not have a garbage movie. I mean, this is literally they've gotta get it right, or I think the MCU is gonna be in some hot water. So I hope it's good. I want it to be good. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But let's see here. Pendergast says, really getting itchy to redo some of my display space, but it's such a weird wall that I think the best way to do it is going to require custom shelves. And you know what? Sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, I know that when the time comes and I finally actually start getting things set up, it's not going to look great because I have so much stuff that is it's not a general consensus across the boards for what I all have as far as the way the shelves all look. Tio Mike says, GameStop guy told me they're expecting a shitload of figures over the next week. Noticed a lot of reissues of the Spidey classics on the shelves. Yeah, it sounds like there's gonna be I mean, it kind of already sounds like a lot of that stuff is already hitting. So I mean that's cool, but trying to gently clean up here while I'm talking to you guys, because I don't have any space left on my desk. It's driving me nuts. Problem is usually I get done with the stream and then I just go upstairs, and that's kind of the end of it. But I need to do something about that. Yeah. But yeah, let's see what else we got here. Mission Impossible and Stitch in theaters this weekend. Gonna be actually seeing Stitch on Sunday for my kiddo's birthday party, even though today is technically her birthday. We actually just got back home a little while ago. We went out to dinner to Rainforest Cafe. Definitely subpar. I wouldn't exactly say it's worth the money. I just feel so whacked out. Why is his leg such? Seems weird that he's like. Seems like he's balancing on one leg. What the hell? Guess I never noticed that before. And yes, we're gonna go see that. I'm so far behind on the Mission Impossible movies. I don't think I've seen the last like 3 or 4, so I'm definitely going to need to get caught up on those, because I did really like the original ones, and I don't know why I just was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch the next like 19 movies that come out. But yet here I am, and I have not seen any of them. How did they fix it? Why is that doing that? What is going on? I never had this problem before. That was super weird. My Felix or whatever, Joker. It just seemed very lopsided, and I didn't really know why. But it's better now. That's weird. It's just very, very, very weird. What up, Boo Cat? Yeah, this guy here, it was like his feet were lopsided. They still look like they're not the same length. And it was like he was leaning to like one side when he was standing. But I guess it's fine now. I don't know where to put him. I wonder if the new Stitch will be good or not. I mean, I hope it is. I'm sure my kid will love it regardless. And I mean, I've always been a huge sucker for Stitch, so I'm sure I'll probably like it. I am, and I'm only going to say this because of my displeasure in the fact, but apparently, no, I always make an attempt to fix things. And then even then I don't always get rid of them. I was gonna say Captain Gantu isn't in the movie apparently, and that's super lame. It's like, what? He was like a huge part of the movie. So whatevers, I guess. I guess it is what it is. Who needs a Titan class when you can have a Legends class that's just as awesome? I don't need a giant transformer. I've got one, and that's all I need. That is all I need. I've actually never transformed this dude. He's just always just been the robot. I was kind of thought it was weird that a robot needed like a space helmet. Yeah, I don't know if it was because the movie was starting to get too expensive and having another CGI or mocap character in it was gonna bust the budget, but here we are, I guess. My goodness. Yep, here we are tonight out for dinner. She had a blast. And my wife got her the biggest freaking donut I've ever seen in my life this morning for her before she went to school. She did not finish it all. And then she stole my wife's phone and proceeded to go and take a bunch of selfies with all the animals in the the restaurant. This was one of my birthday presents to her. She was very excited to get Sparkle Smash monster truck. That's her favorite Monster Jam. But yeah, good times to be had for sure. Yeah. But let's see, what else is there? What else is there? I was actually trying to figure out something the other day. And I couldn't remember which. Okay, yeah, him and him. I couldn't remember all of the Star Wars Hot Toys that I had. And yeah. This thing here, though, I'm so glad I got this. This is probably one of my favorite 1/6 scale figures that I have is the Clone Wars Yoda from Sideshow. They did such a good job of capturing his likeness and everything with this guy. It's very, very, very cool. I'm still a little bummed. I'm like, what was the point of giving him a hood that he can't put on? Because his giant freaking ears, like, give us a hole and like detachable ears so that we can just pop them through like on a magnet or something. But yeah, got this dude here. I can't remember. I don't think he's got like a magnet in his waist to like clip his lightsaber to. I do find it interesting that they made the Sideshow. There you go. You can see it now. All of the Sideshow lightsabers are very pointy, like stabby. Well, and Boocat, the crazy thing is with the life-size Grogu that they did. So Sideshow did one, and it's apparently it's made from the mold and stuff, and I'm like, this doesn't really look like it. But then Hot Toys did theirs, and then frustratingly, like after they've already gone through and did the whole thing, they did it the pre-order, and then probably 2 months before it released, they're like, oh, by the way, he has an articulated mouth. And I'm like, no, that means you guys made his face like rubber, and I'm like, I didn't want that. If I had been making payments on it, I'm like, if this is what I would have gotten, I wouldn't have ordered it. I would have not gotten it. But his ears are detachable. And I think he's got like different, like, positioned ears. I think he comes with 2 or 3 sets of ears. So they can just pop them on and off. I'm like, why didn't you guys do that with this? It would have been hard, And then we've got his real life counterpart here. The Clone Wars or Attack of the Clones Yoda. And I think it's Attack of the Clones. I can't remember. I don't think it's the Return of the Sith. I don't think they did that version. I think this is supposed to be the Attack of the Clones, but he's got the super duper fuzzy hair. And I feel like it needs to kind of be slicked back a little bit. It was getting a little unruly. All right, looks a little bit better now. It's not so all over the place. But then they did the hood on him too, and his hood is stitched so that you can't even put it up. And of course, I'm not seeing ear holes anyways. But yeah, just one of those things. Again, here we are with hair, and I'm like, you guys could have sculpted it and it would have looked fine. I mean, it's one of my biggest Mac type things. And then I'm also realizing just how many Hot Toys 1/6 scale Grogu's I have. It is entirely too many, is how many. I swear to God, every figure from The Mandalorian came with one. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Does he come? No, he doesn't come with a... Does he come with a chair? I don't think so. Hot Toys Attack of the Clones. I don't know why I did that. And then we go Yoda. Let's see here. As far as I know, he doesn't, unless there was a deluxe version. And it was, in fact, the Attack of the Clones version. He comes with a couple of hands to like catch the lightning and his lightsaber, obviously. And I think he comes with... Yeah, he comes with two different set of feet. He has like the regular standing feet, and then like when he's jumping in the air and his toes kind of curl down. I don't know if they did. Well, let's just do this, and then they should all come up. So they did Attack of the Clones. And then they did Empire. And then Sideshow did their Clone Wars one. Because the Empire one comes with a Dagobah base. With like a tree branch and stuff and floating rocks. Yeah, I don't know if they did. I don't think they did a Revenge of the Sith version. Because I am not seeing that anywhere, unfortunately. But yeah, super cool. Super cute. Super cute. Super cute. I've got this 1/6 scale cloud figure that I'm considering getting rid of. Got the Big Lebowski, I've got the Crow, I've got Ash, I've got a really cool third-party Judge Dredd, got Kratos, I got my Buzz, my Jack Sparrow. Yeah, I gotta clean this bad boy up so I can start showing off more stuff. I'm also contemplating on getting rid of some of them. King size Homer? I don't. The only ones we have at the shop for Super 7 Simpsons are Duffman and the robot Itchy and Scratchy. Those are the only three that we have. I keep forgetting I've got some of these things because I don't ever get a chance to look at them anymore. Or at least I don't make a solid effort, I guess I should say. And I really, really should. I should also pick up all the junk I've got down here. I know my wife would be very, very appreciative if I did that. Heck yeah, man. Definitely swing on by. just be prepared. There's some good stuff in there. Okay, I've got my Shang-Chi super rad figure. I'm very excited to see him come back to the movies, because it's already been too long. Which sucks. Ooh, that's no bueno. Ooh. That's why sometimes I'm not a fan of some of the material that they use on these things. What up, Thor? Dude, I didn't get it. I had it pre-ordered. I was gonna get it, and then I'm just like, it's too big. I mean, and I thought he was even just. I mean, I legit thought he was too big in the game, and I was like, this is no bueno. I don't understand why he's so big, but I mean, it's cool looking. But he's so big, and I don't know what their thought process was on that. Like, they were like, hey, we're just gonna go for the biggest character we possibly can. This one's super awesome. My third party Spider-Man Noir. It's very cool. Hat comes off, obviously. He's got his gun, as he should. Because if you know anything about the character, you know he got a gun, and he ain't afraid to use it. I'm hoping that it's like that in the show when it comes out finally. But the only thing about this I wish they had was some wired parts in the coat there. But yeah, you can see the head sculpt is super spot on. But yeah, I guess. For some reason, I thought he had his thing around his waist. He doesn't hold the gun very well either. But yeah, super cool. I'm surprised we haven't gotten one from Hot Toys. I mean, they like to do all the different Spider-Man suits, so I guess I don't really. Ooh, what the hell? Well, that bad boy just popped right out of there. Man, I watched the new Karate Kid movie yesterday, and it's interesting. It doesn't surprise me that you would say that the people would be disappointed. I feel like because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, right, it largely kind of ignores a lot of what happened in the show. What up, Gearwall? I could be wrong, and you can go ahead and correct me if I am. But that's kind of what I was under the impression is that it's kind of sort of ignoring the show, I guess. And yeah. And so many people are invested in the show now. And it's like, why? What? And then, nobody really likes to talk about that movie. Because it is, in fact, that movie. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I still kind of want to see it. But I'm also not um I also haven't watched a ton of the new show either, which is weird. I probably should, but I haven't. Um yeah. Oh, he's down there. I was like, I thought I had two Buckies. Um well, yeah, that's weird then. Why market it in such a way? Um where we're like led to believe that Daniel and Jackie Chan's character are like a big part of the movie, right? I don't know. I'll still watch it. I'll wait until it comes out on streaming or something. I'm lucky if I get out and see one movie a month. What was the last one? Well, it was the Thunderbolts. And then I'll be seeing Stitch. And, then we got Superman, Fantastic Four. I got to save up credits for that so I can actually get out and see him before I get spoiled. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. It's kind of like, and the other thing that kind of like it like didn't I feel like didn't Karate Kid? No, I don't. I always felt like Karate Kid took place in like the 60s because of like all of the cars and stuff are like older cars, I guess. And though I guess those are the ones that stand out to me. Um but it's supposed to have taken place in like the 80s, right? So I just like in my head, like I always go, wouldn't Daniel be like 80 now or something? Like, I don't know. It always kind of makes me weird. I haven't gotten to the Wolf King yet. Everything really just keeps coming out. And I get pulled in a million different directions when it comes to stuff to watch. And I forget that shows drop and this and that. But yeah. Yeah, one of our friends of the channel has unfortunately turned me onto the fact that Joy Toy does flash sales on their TikTok. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So I guess we'll have to see. Um, But yes, sorry, people blowing up. There's some crazy stuff that's been happening in the cities lately. With people doing nefarious things. So we're trying to coordinate. Yeah. Crimson. Yes, I am very much looking forward to the Predator Killer of Killers. I think that comes out in like 2 weeks or something, so I'm very stoked. Okay, that's what it was. Jamie Lynn was just Miyagi had classic cars. Daniel looks like a kid. He was in his mid-20s in the first movie, and the guy that plays Silver is actually younger than Ralph Macchio. Yeah. She drove 70 station wagon. Okay. Yeah, I was very, very confused by all that. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. Sorry. But yeah, I very, very excited. I'm super excited for all the Predator stuff, and I'm super excited for Alien Earth. That's coming out later this year too. Um, um, sorry, we're trying to. Yeah, some guy. What up, Northern? Some guy broke into somebody's storage unit, and we're trying to help the guy get his stuff back. So, yeah. But yeah, no, and now that there's so I'll see if I can. So I don't know if it's really gonna. So this is official now. Don't believe anything else that you've seen or anything before. It serves as a prequel to Alien, and it is set two 2 years before Alien. Not like a crazy number where people were saying it takes place like 30 years before. I'm like, well, that was like Prometheus and Covenant and all that stuff. That all took place like 30 or 40 years or something like that um before Alien. So this takes place 2 years before. And see, that doesn't let's see here. Find the info for you real quick. Okay. I don't think this is going to tell me what I wanted it to tell me. I don't believe so. Okay, I'm just going to watch it and turn the sound off. So oh, that's not it either. So anyways, it sounds like it's not just a xenomorph that is on this ship. It's something like 9, I think. Here, maybe this I think will actually tell me more. The series will be set on Earth in 2120, 2 years before the events of Alien. It has been described as being a loose prequel to Alien. The plot details with the Weyland-Yutani Corporation and its competitors, all of whom have their own plans for synthetic humans. It has been indicated that the series deals with the origins of the company, which in current canon was formed in 2099. It is stated to blend the horror elements of the original film and the action of the sequel. It will include aesthetics of both films, described as retrofuturism, for instance, no holograms, blah, 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 blah. Earth will not incorporate elements from Prometheus or Covenant. This includes the titular alien itself, with the show's take representing the idea that the xenomorph is the product of millions of years of evolution rather than a bioweapon created half an hour ago. It has been indicated that artificial intelligence will still play a role in the series, however, including the idea of humanity being trapped between a primordial parasitic past and its AI future. It is intended that the series will have multiple seasons, only a single xenomorph will be present. But it's something like the ship had like 9 forgivens. You have to remember that alien or that Weyland-Yutani will do anything and everything to cover things up and keep things secret. So I'm guessing that whatever does happen in this show is going to be kind of self-contained, and that it's not like this ship is going to crash land in the middle of a highly populated area. I'm guessing it's going to crash land in the middle of nowhere. They're going to send these people out there to go take care of it, and it'll all get cleaned up and swept under the rug. And then when maybe they'll figure out where the ship came from, and that's maybe that ship was on LV-426, and that's where they picked it up from, and that's why they sent the terraformers there. And because everything that Weyland-Yutani has done has been nefarious. They will purposefully send people to planets where they know that the xenomorphs are in order to potentially get a xenomorph, because they want to do all these experiments. And no matter how many times they mess up, they think the next time will be different. We'll take care of it. This isn't going to be a problem again. And it keeps happening. And to the corporation, people are expendable. When they receive that distress call in Alien, I'm guessing that they probably already knew that was there. But yeah, I want to read exactly what the thing said. Okay. This has got to be it right here.
This ship collected 5 different life forms.
Yeah. This ship collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe. Each one a unique, deadly species. Monsters. So it's not just a xenomorph. I don't know if that means that the xenomorph is one of the 5 or it's 5 other alien life forms. But I honestly think that Dan Trachtenberg, Fadid Alvarez, and Noah Hawley have all been talking, and I truly, truly, truly believe that we're heading towards a proper Alien versus Predator universe. Because Fadid came out and he's already stated that the sequel, because they're making a sequel to Alien Romulus that will follow Andy and Lord, what is her name? The gal that they survive. They've already said that there's going to be a Predator in the sequel to that, which to me, I think that there's actually going to be a Predator in Alien Earth. I also think that there might be aliens in Predator Badlands. All I know is I'm stoked and I want it. Forgiven says, interesting. Could one of the other aliens on that ship is a predator? And Griff beat me to it. Yeah. I don't honestly. I don't want them to mess with the engineers anymore because I feel like, well, personally, I think Ridley Scott has done a pretty good job of damaging the franchise. I don't think. I honestly feel like he was not in his right mind when he made Prometheus and then Covenant. Like, he didn't even go back. It's like he didn't go back and watch Alien and be like, well, everything I'm doing right now, none of it's going to make sense because of what happened with Alien. Like, it's pretty clear that that derelict ship has been there for a very long time. The pilot, apparent, I think if I remember correctly, they say it's fossilized. So I mean that's the, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. But we know that a xenomorph or any aspect thereof it can basically survive indefinitely. Their original, if you go back to the original Dark Horse comics, um, let me see here. God dang, what did they call them? Because they weren't. I don't think they were engineers. Does anybody remember what they called? Oh, the This was canon. Remember this. This is the space jockeys. This was who was in that giant chair. This was the suit that was modeled after the thing, the helmet that the engineer puts on. If they want to go ahead, right? If they want to go ahead and say that the engineers stole the space jockeys' technology, I'm all for that. I don't necessarily want the engineers to be the ones that created the xenomorphs, because I choose to believe that, like they just said, it's hundreds of millions of years of evolution created these things. Basically, a thing that I read that was a really good like analogy is the universe created the xenomorphs to basically spank any species that gets out of hand. Like, if you get basically too greedy, you get too violent, you get warmongering or this or that or whatever, like, and you start to try and like spread out and take and take and take, eventually you're going to find these things and they're going to put you in your place. That was kind of the thing that I had read, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Um, that they're just these things that can essentially float through space and never die because they don't need to breathe, they don't need to eat, they just go into hibernation basically and just float endlessly. Um, and they can self-replicate. Like, if they could explain it like I've read in if they made the Alien 3 original screenplay novel, like if they go back and remake that and make it be canon instead of the original Alien 3 movie, it would make everything make more sense. Romulus definitely helped kind of advance that a little bit, because spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, but it's been out long enough, it's your own fault at this point. They find the big chap floating through space. I mean, and the director Fadid, yeah, right, yeah, Fadid, basically he came out and said that Ripley was in fact on that space station, still in the Narcissus. Um, and they show it like at one point, like it's a blink and you miss it, but it's there. Um, they knew where she was. Are you kidding me? They knew exactly where that ship was. So of course they went there, and they could probably track that ship, not a problem. But that wasn't priority. Priority was finding the xenomorph. They found the xenomorph. Basically, it had cocooned itself into essentially an asteroid. They brought it on their ship, cut it open to test it, to do tests on it. Well, it wasn't dead, and it started taking everybody out. But in the process, they were able to extract the black liquid from the xenomorph. And that's where they got all the face huggers from, because they were able to genetically make that happen. In the original Alien 3 screenplay, was a weird click. In the original Alien 3 screenplay novel, you find out that after Aliens, um, Bishop, Ripley, Newt, and Hicks are floating through space, and they essentially float through the space communists. Like, they're like their little portion of space. They send a ship out because they're not getting any response from them. So they're going to go salvage it, right? They go on the ship. The first thing they do is they open Bishop's pod. When they open it, there's an egg in there, a facehugger egg, and it opens up, and facehugger comes flying out, and chaos, this and that. So they bring their person back on board. They grab Bishop. They take him on board, and then the ship basically just keeps going. And then eventually that ship is found and brought to a space station. Ripley's in a coma. Hicks and Newt are still alive. Hicks becomes the main character, essentially. When all the crazy shit starts going down, he sends Newt and Ripley off the space station back to Earth. I think it was Earth. But then you're probably wondering, well, where did the egg come from? Well, that's the whole thing. I'm guessing when Bishop was ripped in half by the Queen, she willingly, unwillingly, unknowingly, knowingly, whatever, deposited genetic material on him. And from a cell, egg. Didn't need to have anything organic to do it. Just a speck, and it was able to turn into an egg. And that's kind of what. So then they take the alien back, blah 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 blah. They get this, whatever. Everybody starts doing tests on it. The space communists and the company, basically. And in the process of doing it, they unwillingly or unknowingly make it go airborne, right? And people were breathing stuff in. And this wasn't like in Covenant where they were having something come out of their neck or their back. These people were literally like werewolfing into xenomorphs. Like their skin just like slept off, and like they're everything. And they physically turned into a xenomorph. And all this crazy stuff starts happening. And right, Gerwal, that it was a good book, and it made Covenant and Prometheus make sense because they have this black liquid. And again, if they would have left that scene in Alien where Ripley's crawling through the vents and she finds Dallas cocooned. Well, Dallas wasn't cocooned. They had turned Dallas into an egg. And that's just this propagating the life cycle of the xenomorphs, that they, from a speck or just one drone or whatever, that they can keep going. Because again, in Romulus, there were no eggs. That's a really good question, 3M. It's a really good question. I don't know why they didn't. But you should actually watch the documentary or whatever about Alien 3, because that was David Fitchner. It was like his first directing thing, and everything he talks, like everybody, it was a nightmare. But it makes all of that make sense. And if they would have stuck to that, nope. I mean, I would have been like, okay, cool. Yeah, this makes total sense now. But Ridley Scott, it's kind of like the concept of The Rise of Skywalker, right? At the end of the movie, everybody's like, she's like, my name's Ray Skywalker. Boo, boo. No, the crazy thing is, and I'm not saying this makes the movie any better, but it makes the pill a little easier to swallow. Genetically speaking, Rey is half Palpatine, half Skywalker, because Palpatine had Luke's hand, and that's how they were able to perfect the cloning. So that makes it make sense. You can't just let super important information come out in a comic book or a novel, because not everybody consumes every ounce of media. You're not going to get everybody reading. People who go to see the movies don't necessarily read novels or comic books. So putting that info in there doesn't make sense. And then you're only getting like a quarter or a half of people who understand exactly what's going on. And that's why it's super frustrating. But again, same thing with Alien. If they would have done things that way, going back to Prometheus and Covenant, it wouldn't be that hard of a pill to swallow, because we would know. We would already know about the black liquid, because they were talking about the black liquid back in when Alien 3, when they wrote that's where it came from. So, you know, for them to be able to do it and it to cause the mutations that it causes, that's what it does. I'm telling you, if you read, let me see if I can't get the, um, I'll give you, so this is like the more recent, um, books that have come out. Okay. So let me see here. Those are all old. Okay, is that it? Right. Okay. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. So it starts with Alien Out of the Shadows. And so I'll just kind of give you this. It's set between Alien and Aliens. The book chronicles Ellen Ripley's involvement in a xenomorph outbreak on the planet LV 178 and the mining vessel in orbit above it. The survivors attempt to escape the creatures are further complicated by Ash, whose AI consciousness has survived inside the narcissist, the shuttle that brought Ripley to them. Super crazy. Like, they take her out of the ship, and when it's all said and done, they basically wipe her memories of this incident and then put her back in the ship and send her on her way, floating into space. Super crazy. But um, then the next book that came out was Alien Sea of Sorrow. And this is a follow up to that book. And it's set many years after Resurrection. And LV 178 is now colonized and renamed New Galveston, with Alan Decker, a deputy commissioner for the ICC, charged with making sure the settlements on the planet follow the rules. Decker's previously latent empathic abilities cause him to briefly connect with the xenomorphs still laying dormant beneath the planet. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation sees this as another opportunity to capture one of the creatures, forcibly recruiting Decker into the team of mercenaries. Decker is unable to refuse, as centuries ago, his ancestor fought the xenomorphs, launching a bloody vendetta that was never satisfied. That was when the creatures swore revenge on the destroyer, Ellen Ripley. So they've really they did this whole thing. And then there's Alien River of Pain, Alien Invasion, Alien. No, nobody cares about the Alien Covenant. Alien, the Cold Forge, Alien Echo, Alien Prototype, Aliens Phalanx, Alien Into Sharbadis, Aliens Infiltrator, the Alien 3, the unproduced screenplay, Alien Colony War, Inferno's Fall, Enemy of My Enemy, Uncivil War, Seventh Circle, and Cult. And these are all basically like the ones that took place like after. All sorts of crazy stuff. There's like, and then obviously I skipped two. They did a Bishop novel and a Vasquez novel. They actually did, what is it, Alien? What was it called? It was a comic. It was a one shot. Aliens Aftermath. Was that one of the ones I said? Aliens Aftermath actually is quite interesting. It takes place on LV-426 after the after Aliens. And there's a couple of characters that are going there to basically try to figure out what happened. And oh gosh, things are happening. Um, and then one of the characters turns out to be Vasquez's like nephew or something. So super interesting. But yeah. Sorry, more of this, more info popping up here. But yeah, all those novels are killer, but they do start to lean into the black liquid and these aberrations and mutations and stuff. And so like some of the, there's like a terrorist group that uses it and drops it on a planet and like mutates a bunch of people. And um sorry, I'm just doing this crazy crap here again. But it is very, very, very good read. All those new books, and I strongly suggest if you're into these books, definitely, definitely look into them. But what in the hell? Go. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to. But yeah, definitely give those a shot. The comics have been really good too. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I suppose I got to start trying to deal with this now. With that being said, I appreciate all you guys. And thank you for hanging out and having a little conversation, Reno, about the Alienos. I wonder if Nintendo will do a Metroid movie in the future since aliens influenced the game. I hope they do. I mean, I know that there's talk that we're finally getting a Legend of Zelda movie. But yeah, I think they should do them all like they did the Mario Brothers movie, and then have it all culminate in a Smash Brothers movie like Avengers, and then they can fight the hands. I think that'd be pretty dope. But if they're gonna do a live action Zelda, that's not gonna work. It'd be very weird. But yeah, with that being said, you guys know the drill. If you're not following me, give me a follow on Instagram. If you all the other things are over on Dave's socials for Extra Life, ProWrestlingTees.com for our shirts. Search Dave Wonder. Yeah, all that other stuff. Anybody wants to send me anything cool, just reach out to me. I can get you the address, or you can send it to Dave's P.O. Box, and I can get it that way too. Yeah, you guys know the drill. Throw them horns up, and well, I don't know what I'm doing here, but what just happened here? End stream. Bye, everybody.